I thought marriage was a commitment between two people. Until one day, in the middle of being intimate, he suddenly got up, rushing to answer another woman's call. I didn't cry or make a scene. I just said softly, "Leave the remaining condoms." He froze. And I finally understood some dignity doesn't need to be fought for. You just need to turn away. In high society, the biggest fox paws is wearing the same outfit as someone else. Yet, at the city's elite charity gala, I saw a young woman wearing the exact same gown as me. Curves in all the right places, 30-60 breasts that were clearly enhanced and showed signs of numerous cosmetic procedures. Summer was Marcus's new secretary, and his kept woman. There's no such thing as a coincidence in this world. Summer was deliberately provoking me. Unwilling to lose my composure, I turned away from her, ordering a glass of red wine to sip slowly. But that sly and manipulative type brazenly approached me, swaying her hips. "Mrs. Grace, a secretary handles duties, and when there are no duties, she handles the boss. I'm Mr. Marcus's personal secretary. I'm sure you understand my relationship with Mr. Marcus, don't you? Mr. Marcus adores me so much. 3 times a night isn't even enough. Has he ever been so obsessed with your body?" Summer deliberately pushed out her silicone-filled fake breasts. Wearing the same outfit isn't scary. It's who's less significant that gets embarrassed. Since I'm here now, do you really think there's still a place for you? Be smart, get out, and stop humiliating yourself. Mr. Marcus promised me age dump you and marry me sooner or later. Splash. I splashed the red wine from my hand onto her gown. My hand slipped. Ah! Summer screamed hysterically like a hen whose tail had been stepped on. "Mr. Marcus, that worn-out wife is bullying me. You have to stand up for me." All eyes in the room turned, and Marcus, looking distinguished and imposing, approached with a grim face. Summer immediately burst into tears and threw herself into my husband's arms. "Mr. Marcus, your wife is too overbearing, too much of a bully. She actually ruined my gown, said I wasn't worthy of wearing the same dress as her. But I only wore this to please Mr. Marcus. A woman adorns herself for her admirer. What crime have I committed?" "Of course, you're not guilty." Marcus tenderly embraced his young lover, but his tone towards me was chillingly harsh. "Grace, you disappoint me greatly. What kind of behavior is this, acting so petty and jealous? Apologize to Summer immediately. I don't like petty and narrow-minded women." His friends chimed in, collectively accusing me of lacking the demeanor of a legal wife. According to high society's norms, a man-lover's having women on both arms is not shameful but rather a display of power and status. As a legitimate wife, one must understand and be supportive. No drama, no scenes otherwise. It's lacking grace and composure, unworthy of being a young socialite by marriage. Just like on our wedding night, Marcus, in the middle of being intimate, was called away by a phone call. Elite marriage is just that casual. Our affection is for show. Behind closed doors, we live separate lives. Don't get jealous and cause trouble, or you'll be the only one embarrassed. I looked at the telltale stain on the sheets implying virginity on the bedsheet and asked with immense bitterness, "Marcus, can my private life be this casual too?" Marcus paused, then smiled dismissively. "Of course, you can be casual too. I don't care, but I know you wouldn't dare. Be good. Don't throw childish tantrums. Both of us know you won't get a divorce. You're impossible to get rid of. I told you to apologize." "Grace, didn't you hear me?" Marcus's voice rose, pulling me back from my memories to reality. He looked down on me, his gaze devoid not only of love but also of respect, because our elite marriage was inherently unequal. Elite marriages are often for business interests. My passed away early, and my Robert was a scumbag. He had several illegitimate children outside, all coveting my and my brother's inheritance. Our company held my deceased Eleanor's hard work, and I had to protect it. So I needed Marcus's help. With him, Noah and I would have support in my childhood home. "I'm sorry." I swallowed my humiliation, apologizing as the legal wife to the undisclosed mistress. "Hey!" Summer smirked triumphantly. Her laughter was accompanied by a chorus of mocking remarks directed at me. My tears welled up, but I fiercely held them back. I knew that crying at this moment wouldn't gain me any sympathy. It would only make my situation more humiliating. "Darling, are you still upset?" Marcus ignored my distress, continuing to appease his young lover. "My clothes are ruined, but she's still perfectly fine. I'm just not okay with that." Summer pouted charmingly, and Marcus immediately understood. He actually strode over, grabbed my neckline, and brutally ripped it down. "Rip." My gown tore, revealing my fair shoulders and black bra strap. The entire room gasped. I bit my lip, feigning a look of wronged innocence, and tears slowly streamed down my face. My voice trembling with a sniffle, I questioned him. Marcus, I'm your legal wife. Are you really going to be this heartless? Marcus's cold scoff perfectly conveyed his cruelty, since you're so jealous and can't stand to see others do well, ruining Summer's gown. I certainly won't let your scheme succeed and let you keep showing off. That wouldn't be fair to Summer. So, they're both ruined. No one gets to wear one. How ironic was that? He was actually trying to find fairness for his mistress in front of his legal wife. Brother, forget it. Don't be too hard on Grace. Sage, the adopted son of the Hayes family, tried to mediate. My family affairs are none of your business. Marcus showed no respect to his adopted brother, not even glancing at him, continuing to stare at me with fiery eyes. If you can't stand it, get a divorce. If you don't dare to divorce, then learn to stay in your place. Summer is a woman under my protection. Troubling her is troubling yourself. Marcus, like an untouchable deity, stood high above, wantonly trampling on my pride and self-respect, because he knew my weakness too well, knew the turbulent complexities of my childhood home, and could hurt me without restraint. Everyone was watching the show. Some were even secretly recording and taking pictures. I felt abandoned by the whole world, like a clown in a circus. I suddenly smiled. All right, as you wish. I'll stay in my place. I reached for my bra clasp. Do you want me to keep undressing? I can be even more understanding. This was a strategic retreat to gain advantage. Marcus's expression instantly stiffened. He wasn't an idiot. He finally understood that humiliating me was humiliating himself. Husband and wife share honor and disgrace, regardless of affection. Enough. That's enough. I hope you remember today's lesson and stop causing trouble. Go home and reflect on your behavior. Don't be an eyesore here anymore. I didn't argue. I just turned and left. I intended to drive, but severe lower abdominal pain made me break out in a cold sweat. It was a long-standing issue. Emotional distress always triggered menstrual pain. I hid in the restroom, sitting on the toilet, enduring the double torment of body and soul. I don't know how long passed before the pain in my lower abdomen finally subsided. Just as I was about to leave, I heard the restroom door being violently pushed open. Then came the woman's moans and the man's muffled grunts. Mr. Marcus, a little gentler. Summer can't take it. Hey, isn't this what you wanted? Since I've helped you vent your anger, you have to let me relieve my own tension to the fullest. Endure the pain. Arch your back. More obscene sounds swelled. Ah, Mr. Marcus, you're amazing. Who's more comfortable, me or your wife? Of course, it's you. Don't even mention Grace, that dead fish. They finished after half an hour of commotion next door. I listened to the live broadcast with a blank expression. My silent tears, after pouring down like rain, finally dried. My heart for Marcus had completely died. He always thought I was willing to marry him only because I coveted his power and status. In truth, I was 2 years his junior, and I had a crush on him in college. When my family chose an elite marriage, I actually had better options. I could have married into a more prominent century-old aristocratic family in the city that would have been more beneficial for solidifying my brother's position as heir. Yet, I defied my Robert's objections and insisted on marrying Marcus. I always thought feelings could be cultivated. Unfortunately, my marriage with him was like a barren marriage. Hopeless, barren of any life. Marcus left with Summer, and the restroom still reeked of a post-coital cigarette. I washed my face and opened the restroom door, finding another man smoking. Put this on. Sage handed me a brand new jacket. Thank you. I draped the jacket over my shoulders, but Sage suddenly pulled me into his embrace. Don't be sad. Losing you only proves that scumbag is not just bad, but also stupid. Work with me. I promised it'd give you happiness. In the eyes of outsiders, Sage was the adopted son of the Hayes family, Marcus's adopted brother. He was supposed to be loyal and grateful to the Hayes family, but that wasn't the truth. 20 years ago, Sage's Robert was a business partner who co-founded the company with William, and also the second largest shareholder. But due to an accident, Sage's parents unfortunately passed away. Sage, who was not yet an adult, was raised by the Hayes family. Everyone praised the Hayes family for their kindness and loyalty. But Sage had always suspected his parents' deaths weren't accidental. They were murder. The murderer was Marcus's Robert, because found a diary belonging to his Robert, which showed that the two families had been openly and secretly battling over company control back then. As a result, His parents had an accident, and the Kin family lost control of the company. Could such a coincidence exist in the world? So, on the surface, Sage had always played the role of the dutiful adopted son of the Hayes family and Marcus's assistant, but in secret, he had been plotting revenge. "Call me anytime you need me." Sage left, and I returned home alone. I expected another night alone, but unexpectedly, Marcus, who hadn't stayed home for days, was back. He was even carrying a gift box. "For you." It was Chanel 5 perfume. Marcus was always like this. After a long period of coldness, H sent me a few gifts, a backhanded gesture lit, hit then offer a sweet date. Like training a dog, I'm allergic to perfume and have never worn any, but he never even noticed. "Thank you." I accepted it routinely, but his gaze stopped on my neck. "Where did those hickeys come from? You found yourself another man." His voice was low and dangerous. I was slightly startled, then realized it was Sage's doing earlier. "I just found Marcus's reaction baffling. Didn't you say you didn't care? Doesn't it seem ridiculous to act like an enemy is at the gates now?" Unwilling to implicate Sage, I could only lie on the spot. "Mosquito bites, mosquitoes in this month." Marcus's eyes deepened. "Whether you've been secretly intimate with someone, I'll have to find out for myself." With that, regardless of my willingness, he picked me up by the waist and threw me directly onto the large bed in the bedroom. He covered me like a mountain. My clothes were once again torn and disheveled, his breathing rapid and fervent. "Let me smell if there's any suspicious male scent on you." I had already showered, but Marcus carried the cloying scent of summer's perfume. It made me feel suffocated and uncomfortable. "No, don't." I tried to struggle, but Marcus thought I was playing hard to get. He lightly bit my ear, chuckling, "You're saying no now. But soon you'll be begging me not to stop. It's been a month since I've fed you. I don't believe you don't want it." His movements grew rougher. The phone suddenly rang. "Marcus, I had a nightmare." "Boo-hoo." His lover's tears extinguished Marcus's passion, and he quickly pulled away, after he left. I thought for a moment and called Sage. On's Memorial Day, I took Noah to the cemetery to pay our respects. "Sister, just divorce him. Marcus is a scumbag. He doesn't deserve you. I only regret being so young, otherwise, I would have beaten him to death. I don't want the inheritance if it means you have to suffer such humiliation." Noah was still in middle school, but the humiliation I suffered at the annual meeting still reached his ears. After's passing, Noah and I only had each other. "What nonsense are you talking about? You are the heir. We can't let those illegitimate sons eye the family fortune. This isn't just my obsession, it's also Mom's wish." I comforted Noah. "But your sacrifice, sister, is too great. If it weren't for me, you could have joined the provincial swimming team back then. Maybe even become an Olympic champion. Unlike now, where you're stuck suffering in a marriage with a man you don't love." If hadn't mentioned it, I would have almost forgotten that I was once an excellent swimmer. 10 years ago, I even saved a drowning teenager. But so much had happened since then that I almost thought it was something from a past life. Yes, back then I liked to wear a dolphin sticker on my wrist. I wanted a tattoo, but I was afraid Mom would scold me, so I didn't dare. I raised my hand, pointing to my wrist. The sticker, of course, was no longer there. Yet, an almost identical dolphin tattoo appeared on Summer's wrist. She looked at the tattoo and smiled smugly. 10 years ago, Marcus nearly drowned and was saved by a girl. Afterward, Marcus couldn't remember what the girl looked like at all. He only remembered that the girl's breath was sweet when she gave him CPR, and that she had a dolphin design on her wrist. He later hired a private detective to find this girl. Summer was the private detective's niece. She had always wanted to marry into an elite family, so she conspired with her Chester to fake the story of saving Marcus's life that year, to make it flawless. She not only learned to swim but also got this dolphin tattoo on her wrist. When I returned home after visiting Eleanor's tomb, I heard the sounds of intimacy again. Marcus was getting increasingly outrageous, actually bringing Summer home to fool around. I had originally intended to endure until Noah officially secured his inheritance, then divorce that scumbag. But when I saw Summer actually rummaging through my closet, wearing my Eleanor's favorite vintage silk dress she wore in life, and deliberately cutting several holes in it with scissors to transform it into provocative lingerie, I couldn't hold back anymore. Slap. A slap landed hard on Summer's face. "Take it off." "As usual." She cried and threw a tantrum. "Mr. Marcus, if you don't give me an explanation, I won't live." Summer ran out of the mansion. Marcus didn't lose his temper at me this time, because he also knew what that vintage silk dress meant to me. Don't get upset. Tomorrow, I'll get you another one. After saying that, Marcus went after Summer. It was late, and he was afraid something might happen to Summer. Actually, his patience with Summer was wearing thin because the girl was too troublesome. She caused trouble almost every day, exhausting him. Was this really the dream goddess who saved him back then? Sometimes even Marcus began to doubt, did the previous private detective make a mistake? So, half a month ago, he hired another detective to verify. Marcus left, and the mansion grew quiet. I looked at the vintage silk dress, torn to shreds, and the hatred in my heart burned like a boiling volcano. I picked up my cell phone and dialed. Sage, come. I need you. 10 minutes later, Sage arrived, and he hoisted me onto his shoulder. Grace, tonight I'm going to make you a truly happy woman. An hour later, I was exhausted, but Sage was still full of enthusiasm. He lightly licked the sweat from my forehead. Whose performance is better, mine or Marcus's? You are. I didn't dare not answer, because this man was too skilled at mischief if I didn't say it. Have even more ways to torment me, making me both love and hate him, unable to resist. 2 hours later, Marcus, who was still patiently trying to console Summer, received an email from the second private detective. The one who saved you back then was Grace. Summer is the first detective's niece. You were deceived. The email contained detailed evidence, but Marcus couldn't read any further. He abruptly stood up, forgetting to even settle things with Summer, and rushed home frantically. He wanted to apologize to Grace, to tell her he had been mistaken. She was the woman he loved most. From now on, they would grow old together and have a bunch of adorable children. But when he stepped into the bedroom, he was instantly dumbfounded. Grace was covered in marks of intimacy, lying on the bed, slightly panting, her face showing both satisfaction and exhaustion. And by the bed, his adopted brother, Sage, was ostentatiously showing off his 8-pack abs. Brother, you just keep busy outside, I've got things handled here. Not even seeing aliens from a sci-fi movie could have shocked Marcus as much as witnessing Grace's open infidelity. He was somewhat disoriented, thinking he was hallucinating. How dare Grace cheat? Hadn't she always been so obedient, sensible, and weak? Marcus pinched his own thigh. It hurt, reminding him that this was the real world. His wife was really being intimate with another man, seeing her expression of utter pleasure, her involuntary sounds of pleasure. It was a level of happiness and engagement he had never witnessed before. Marcus was furious. One of humanity's greatest flaws is double standards. He expects fidelity while he runs wild. The magistrate may burn houses, while the people may not even light lamps. When himself fooled around, he never thought it was a big deal. He even arrogantly and dismissively lectured Grace. You can be this casual too. But when Grace genuinely acted so casually, so wild and untamed, he couldn't stand it. He broke down. He lost his composure enough. What are you doing? His roar finally startled Sage and me from our pleasure. We both turned our heads, looking at the man with a livid face at the doorway. I grabbed my pajamas, covering the dense kiss marks and love bites on my chest. They were all from Sage. He was as fierce as a fiery young lover in bed, making me both love and hate him, yet utterly addicted. But my body now wouldn't look at Marcus anymore. Can't Mr. Marcus even understand what we're doing? I smiled. I never knew you were such a pure man. The obvious sarcasm in my words made Marcus explode. Grace, have I been too lenient with you? How dare you betray me? He lunged to grab me, but Sage blocked him with an arm. Marcus, what kind of skill is it to rage at a woman? You can come at me all you want. Marcus hated me, but he hated Sage even more for cuckolding him. Bang! He landed a fierce punch on Sage's right cheek. Bastard! You ungrateful wretch! How dare you seduce your Grace? You animal! Sage's face immediately swelled up and turned red, but he wasn't scared or angry. Instead, he started to laugh. Marcus, why so agitated? Could it be that you're jealous? Didn't you go around bragging that you didn't care about Grace at all? Are you eating your words now, contradicting yourself? Marcus's features contorted, and he gritted his teeth. Jealous? She's not worthy. I just can't stand that conniver's promiscuous behavior. Meanwhile, I had already gotten dressed, gotten out of bed, and put on my shoes. Promiscuous? I'm just following your example. You were the one who said we live separate lives. Now you're the one demanding accountability, vacillating and untrustworthy. What kind of man are you? Marcus was a very superior man, Always proud and arrogant, he was rarely left speechless or embarrassed. Especially when he had been cuckolded, yet was still left speechless. When he ran out of arguments, he became enraged. "Grace, you're unfaithful, and you still dare to speak so boldly. Believe it or not, I'll divorce you." Marcus used his usual tactic again, threatening me with divorce. In the past, whenever he pulled out this trump card, I would humbly submit. Unfortunately, I had fully awakened. Marcus had no respect for me. The more humiliation I endured, the more he pushed his luck. I had become a joke in the Hayes family. So even if Marcus was incredibly wealthy, what good would that do for Noah and me? None. The prosperity was his alone. I was destined for desolation. I had had enough of this barren marriage. "I agree. Let's get a divorce. What did you say?" Marcus's expression completely froze. He was even more shocked than when he had discovered my infidelity earlier. I said, "Divorce, isn't this what you've always wanted?" I'm stepping aside. Whoever wants to be the young socialite by marriage of the Hayes family can be. Do what you want with whoever you want. I've had enough. My attitude brooked no refusal. "Fine. Don't you dare regret this." Marcus slammed the door and left in a rage, but Sage held my hand. "Grace, congratulations on bravely taking this step. With divorce, you lose only chains but gain a brand new world." I clasped Sage's hand in return. "He's going to seek crazy revenge on you. Hey, I've endured for so many years. It's time to reveal one's true intentions." I moved back to my childhood home. My scumbag Robert, upon hearing I was divorcing Marcus, was naturally very displeased. He scolded me for being willful and inconsiderate. I had no feelings for this Robert to begin with, so I naturally ignored his anger. Noah, however, was very happy. "Sister, it's so good to have you back. We don't need that scumbag's protection. Even if we're kicked out to beg on the streets, we won't go near their Hayes family's door." Noah's young face was filled with determination. "Sister, I'll protect you from now on." I was deeply comforted. Noah having such an attitude meant my sacrifices for him weren't in vain. A few days later, Marcus showed up at my door. I thought he was there for me to sign the divorce papers. My pen was ready, but Marcus actually intended to take me home. I can pretend that what happened last time didn't occur. As long as you completely cut ties with that ungrateful wretch, you'll still be the young socialite by marriage of the Hayes family. You've been using contraception, right? I don't want any burdens later. His face was full of condescending generosity and self-congratulation. "Grace, I've been more than fair to you. I hope you turn over a new leaf and behave yourself." I found it only amusing. Why should I cut ties with him? It's you I should completely cut ties with. Where are the divorce papers? I'll sign them quickly. It's best we never interact again. My words made Marcus's face show a wounded expression, as if he were a betrayed child. "Grace, how did you become so wild and untamed? Where is your former innocence? You betrayed your former self. You disappoint me greatly." He was very agitated, which actually left me bewildered. Seeing my confusion, Marcus gestured as he recounted his drowning incident 10 years ago. "I fell in love with you back then. I just didn't remember your face later. I kept looking for you. But I was misled and found the wrong person. This was all a mix-up. Fortunately, I know the truth now. The woman I've always wanted is you, not Summer. That's why I'm willing to forgive your infidelity and give you a chance to turn over a new leaf. You must cherish it." I finally understood his reason for being infatuated with Summer. It turned out he had simply found the wrong person. Summer was actually my stand-in. Would I be touched? No. This plot was cheesy and cliché, like a cheesy romance novel plot. Finding a first love is never an excuse for infidelity, nor is it a free pass to harm one's wife. My heart for this man had died long ago. The more devoted he acted now, the more disgusted and sick I felt. 10 years ago, I saved a young boy on my way to a city swimming competition. It turned out to be Marcus. Is this what they call an ill-fated connection? I scoffed. I truly regret meddling and saving you back then. Marcus still wanted to say something. Splash. A basin of dirty water was violently splashed onto Marcus's face. Noah had thrown it. "Get out. You don't deserve to pursue my sister." Marcus left in disgrace. Since he refused a consensual divorce, I had no choice but to pursue legal proceedings, and predictably had a fallout with Sage and kicked him out of the company. Sage didn't show weakness either. He was originally the company's second-largest shareholder. I heard he was contacting the remaining minority shareholders to contend with the Hayes family for control of the company. Of course, Sage hadn't forgotten his pursuit of me either. He kept me up every night. exhausted, yet happy. After 3 years of marriage, I finally no longer had to live like a widow in marriage. I was rosy lips and a radiant complexion. On the day the court summons for the divorce case was sent to Marcus, he appeared by my side again. I was grocery shopping. Because I ran out of condoms too quickly. I had to stock up. Sage just couldn't get enough. Marcus forcibly dragged me into his car and took me back to the estate. Let me go. I struggled hard. We're not divorced yet. You're still my woman, and I demand you fulfill your wifely duties. He pinned me to the bed, furiously tearing at my clothes. Did this man have a fixation on being a rapist? This tearing clothes routine again, ah. I bit him hard, and he released me with a yelp of pain. Spousal rape exists. If you touch me again, I'll have you thrown in jail. I spoke very seriously, causing a flicker of panic to appear in Marcus's usually confident eyes for the first time. Grace, are you really going to take things this far? This sentence was so familiar. Only the speaker and the recipient had swapped places. Marcus, you forced my hand. You forever deprived me of the chance to be a good wife. Marcus was about to say something more when Summer burst in. Disheveled Marcus, why are you ignoring me? Even if my Chester deceived you, I truly love you. You can't abandon me. Slap. She received a harsh slap from Marcus across her face. Get out. Just looking at you makes me sick. You're just a cheap imitation. You're not even fit to carry Grace's shoes. Don't let me see you again. I'm afraid my wife will misunderstand. Summer naturally refused to yield. No, I won't leave. I love you. I'm the young socialite by marriage of the Hayes family. Summer clung to Marcus like a madwoman, refusing to let go. Even after countless blows, she remained steadfast. I had already heard that Marcus, realizing he'd been tricked, not only broke up with Summer but also demanded back all his gifts, including his car, house, and money. He also beat Summer's manipulative private detective Chester half to death, too lazy to watch the dog-eat-dog scenario any longer. I seized the opportunity to escape the estate amidst the chaos. I called the police, and they sternly warned Marcus not to harass me anymore, otherwise he would be detained. Marcus behaved himself, but Summer had truly gone mad. She actually ran to my house in the middle of the night, driven by madness, to commit arson. Fortunately, Sage came that night. He desperately rescued Noah and me, sustaining severe injuries in the process, but my scumbag Robert, his mistress, and his illegitimate children perished in the fire. Summer was imprisoned for arson and murder, and later sentenced to death, but thanks to her, my Noah finally became the undisputed family heir. Until he came of age, I, his sister, would fully manage the family business. It was probably the only good thing that conniver, Summer, ever did. At the same time, because of this incident, I finally realized that Sage's feelings for me were genuine. It wasn't infatuation, mutual exploitation, or the allure of his sister-in-law. This was love. I finally lowered all my defenses with him and accepted his proposal. Noah also approved of his brother-in-law. One good thing followed another. Summer's Chester, the private detective, naturally sought revenge after being beaten half to death. He happened to know the secret grudges between the Hayes and Kin families from 20 years ago. He knew that the accident was actually a murder orchestrated by the Hayes family, who hired killers. He reported it to the police, and even exposed the professional hitman who carried out the task back then. Everyone involved, including Marcus's Robert, was imprisoned, and the remaining company shareholders, after learning the truth, all sided with Sage. Coincidentally, my divorce case with Marcus was also decided, because he had openly committed open infidelity at the annual meeting and publicly humiliated and abused me. And many people had recorded and posted it online. This was egregious behavior violating public decency. Therefore, he was identified as the at-fault party in the marriage. Ultimately, the court ruled that I would receive 60% of the family assets, while Marcus would get only 40%. Savings, houses, and such were minor. Most importantly, I also received half of the company shares. Sage and I teamed up and became the company's largest shareholders. The company was successfully brought under our control. Marcus was kicked out. Wife, I know I was wrong. Will you forgive me? I can lose everything, but I just can't lose you. He excitedly ripped open his pants. I discovered he was actually wearing iron shorts underneath. It even had a lock. I had only seen such a thing in movies about medieval Europe. It was called a chastity belt. Here's the key. From now on, my body will belong only to you. Only open to you. I won't be flirting around anymore. Wife, Please don't be so casual anymore, okay? The thought of you being intimate with other men drives me insane." He excitedly handed me a key. At that moment, we were standing on Ocean View. Coincidentally, directly beneath the bridge was the spot where I saved him 10 years ago. "But I've lost interest in your body." Without hesitation, I threw the key into the ocean. No, Marcus actually jumped into the ocean, trying to retrieve the key, but he forgot he couldn't swim. And of course, I wouldn't be foolish enough to save him again. Marcus never resurfaced. Sage and I were facing the ocean, where spring blossoms implying a hopeful future.